And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Goodness me, this is so loud. This is the loudest I've ever been. I have to turn off the iPad. It's at 25%. I'm in the this episode 368. I'm in the midst of doing what is going on? Goodness me. I'm in the middle of doing 100 days of yoga, 100 days straight. It started with 31 and now it's February 13th. So it's 13 days plus 31, however long that is. And I have to do it after this. And so it's been a lot of me balancing the battery for the iPad because I only do it on the iPad. I don't want to do it on TV because I want to watch whatever the heck I'm watching. Right now, it's currently a quad shot of 2 Olympic things and golf. Now, I just finished an interview with a comedian, to be very transparent, and I just finished recording the intro for that. Then I finished editing it, and it's just sitting here. It's on the desktop, actually. So you'll see, after this is posted, the next week you'll see that. But it's a late night writer. So it's great. It's going to be fun. It is fun. I already had that conversation. And if you watch the video, yes, I'm wearing the same shirt. I didn't even attempt to get up and go change it. What I did was I went over to the TV to see who was figure skating, and it was that foretold quad god. He fell. He was crying when I walked over. I thought he was, because we were having the conversation, and actually, when I was prepping for the interview, because I do prep, I was over here and I heard commotion going on, and I went, oh, they're probably, he's probably up now. And then when we were talking, I heard him. I was like, oh, he's probably up now. And then I just walked back over there. That man fell. The AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am is happening, and I believe the next big golf tourney or event rather is in like 2 or 3 weeks. I missed the TGL this week. I try to watch all the Golf League, which is Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods. I can't believe I forgot who Tiger Woods was. Their inter PGA golf, I guess, affiliation team league stuff at the beginning of the season. It started last year, and this year it came back kind of under the auspices of just another ESPN show that airs at 5 p.m. I like it. And also when the season started, the announcers mentioned that the SoFi Center that they built in Florida for this one golf thing that has if you don't know what the TGL is, Rory and Tiger started this. It's essentially 3-on-3 golf indoors in an arena where they tee off onto a giant screen, and they digitally see where they go, and then the landscape can rotate and bend and move and stuff based on where they landed, and it's pretty fun. And celebrities, I guess, show up as fans, but some of the investors include Serena Williams and her husband Alex O'Houlihan. I don't know his last name, and I think it's quite fun. I think it's great. But they're using that center, and when they built that center, I went, this can't just be for golf. And I guess they just started using it for skateboarding or BMX or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, it's I like TGL, and they don't have any of the asshole golfers from Live now that they're playing in the PGA again. So there you go. Anyway, the Olympics has been very interesting to watch. The U.S. is, at this point in time, the U.S. is not doing very well. I watched that beautiful Chloe Kim do her thing. Just that. Oh. And I've been paying attention more so than I've ever paid attention to the Olympics. It's been kind of a lackluster set of events, but it has, I think, really done well for Peacock and NBC, and they seem to be in a decent groove with airing things now. However, I don't have Peacock right now because it's unnecessary. But I do have YouTube TV, and watching it on YouTube TV or on a cable platform in general, or a pay TV platform in general, is very frustrating because they are turning their attention to streaming. So, USA is not playing anything else. I believe they're playing soccer games here and there in spurts, but they're not playing anything else except for the Olympic stuff. And then they also have, because NBC has NBA again. They brought back NBC Sports Network, which they only shut down like maybe a couple of years ago. And so they brought it back, and now that has like all the excess sports. However, what it does not have is consistent, singular Olympic programming. So the problem with that is they only air Gold Zone, and Gold Zone is basically what I'm doing right now with YouTube TV is just a quad shot or a tri shot or a superset, I guess, in gym terms, of whatever events are on at the moment. And they're choosing the sound for each one, so you can watch both, but they're choosing curling and luging, and it's just if they were smart, they would open, and I guess you could maybe not Peacock, maybe NBC Sports Network has more channels that you can bring to the forefront, because on YouTube TV you can hide channels. You can there are some other channels that you can bring out that are free and put them on your thing. But I don't know. I'm just not. That's fine. So I'll sometimes I'll turn to an Olympic event and then it'll not be live, and I'll go, well, I've seen this, but I don't know if I've seen it. So I'll spend time watching it. Just be playing like I was playing Pokemon on Wednesday night, and I just turned on something and I went, is this new? What time was it in Italy? Welcome back in. Almost 10 minutes in. I don't know what's going on. I think I have to get a new cable. This is the same cable I've been using with this microphone and the Zoom H6 forever, and it's not a good cable. As soon as I say that, it starts leaking sound again. What else has been going on? I've been watching a lot of movies. I can't remember which ones. I just started Southland. That's what I wanted to talk about. This is a show that I think I discovered existed maybe within the last year, but it was not anywhere where I could find it. And Netflix just got it, I believe, at the top of this month. Southland is an excellent show. I knew I was going to like this show as soon as I saw the cast and what it was about. Southland is I would not say it's a procedural. It is as a show about cops in LA. And it has Kevin Alejandro and Michael Kudlitz and Regina King and Ben McKenzie and Tom Everett Scott, and it is great. This show came out in 2009 on NBC. They canceled it, and then TNT picked it up for the remainder of its run. I do not understand why NBC would cancel this show. I get that it probably was expensive to make, but they would, without exaggeration, they would have killed for this show now. Like, because Southland is just so good. It is gritty in a way that you don't really see with some other shows that are in the same genre. It feels like The Sopranos. I like it a lot. Now I'm only in the first season, and it is, and I only started watching it on the treadmill and on the bike and on the rower. I do have a rower now. You see is the tall leg. If you're watching the video, um, but I have been watching it at home as I work out, and then when I go to the gym, I'm just thinking about Southland. It's great. It's fantastic. It has short seasons. I'm on episode 7 of the first season, so I'm on the season finale. And it does have it since it was made in 2009 or 2008 2009. It does have the issues of the in between of technology. So it doesn't have, like, look at Law and Order SVU or Law and Order Vanilla. Look at the first couple of seasons and then look at the newer seasons. They would have to bring somebody to the station to say, "Hey, did you like to look at pictures of possible perps?" Now they could just take an iPad. It's so funny. It's so funny. Or like they'd have to go find a phone to call to call back to the office or whatever. Or Elliot gets a page. I believe. Oh, and so in Southland, everybody's got a flip phone. And a lot of the characters have razor phones. it's so great. It's so great. I think it just takes you back to that time period. But I'm enjoying it. It does make me want to. Then since I don't have Peacock, this stinks. It does make me want to watch Homicide, because I watched a couple episodes and I think Homicide's great. And then I dropped Peacock, and then I just forgot about Homicide. What else? I'll check out IMDb, because now I'm tracking everything on IMDb. I have to go to my lists, and then I have a 2026 watch list. I did watch Dante's Peak, and I liked it. Sue me. I enjoyed Dante's Peak. I watched Sacramento, the movie that is, I believe, written and directed by Michael Angarano. And he also stars in it, and it also features his wife, Maya Erskine, and Kristen Stewart, and Michael Cera. Yes, it's an indie movie. I also watched Relay. Oh yeah, Relay, starring my wonderful, lovely friend Riz Ahmed and Lily James. Who, when I saw Lily James, I was like, "All right, Lily James." And Sam Worthington, who is just, I guess, doing more of what he does. That was a great movie. And then I watched Rebel Ridge. I watched Rebel Ridge last Saturday morning as I was cycling. Tomorrow on Peloton, they're doing a 2-hour ride for Valentine's Day with Christian Vandeveld and Matt Wilpers, the two best instructors on the platform. Everybody else can suck butt, even the people I like. And it's going to be a wonderful 2-hour thing. It's going to be a great 2 hours. I'm going to put on a movie as I do every single time they do a 2-hour thing. All right, let's get into these stories because I'm going to be hungry. This first one comes from, and we're going to have a suite of stories talking about this. This first one comes from New York Times, written by Cecilia Kang. What to know about the social media addiction trials. This week, we saw Meta, TikTok, Snap, and YouTube have to go up and defend themselves. Oh, those poor companies defend themselves from the state court in Los Angeles to talk about how social media can or cannot be an addiction. The short of it is, it can. I'll give you my take on it in a second. The plaintiff's lawyers are testing a novel legal theory claiming that the companies cause personal injury through defective products. Thousands of individuals, school districts, and state attorneys general have filed similar lawsuits. Just one win could open the door to an avalanche of similar claims. So there's the lawsuits claim things like infinite scrolling, like doom scrolling, all that stuff. How algorithms and notifications and videos that just lead to compulsive use, as Cecilia writes here. They contend that the resulting addiction has led to problems like depression, anxiety, eating disorders, and self-harm, including suicide. Some things that have happened that are similar to it, she harkens back to the big tobacco cases of the 90s, where it was talking about how hiding information about how harmful cigarettes can be. This is something that should be on the forefront. This is something that's near and dear, if near and dear to everybody, not just near and dear to me, but if people are constantly online, and we see it, and the people have made careers out of it. I always bemoan influencers because of who they are and what they want to be and what they've helped usher into this world. And it is if anything, my take is that if anything can be considered addictive, if it hits the dopamine levels, the dopamine in the brain, and activates all that stuff, and all of that, then yeah, it can be addictive. If in the same way people get addicted to alcohol or drugs or sex, whatever, what have you. It's all the same thing. So why not if obesity is a disease, then why can't social media also be an addiction? The first lawsuit is about a 20-year-old woman from California who, this is why it's in California Superior Court. They created a YouTube account at age 8, joined Instagram at 9, Musical.ly, which is now TikTok, at 10, Snapchat at 11. The lawsuit says that she claimed she became addicted to social media sites as a child and experienced anxiety, depression, and body image issues as a result. We see this time and again. We see that these companies, we see articles and news stories concerning this all the time, where young people, or just people in general, I'm not gonna put a gender on it, I'm not gonna put an age on it, or people in general see something online. They see that they're not living that life, or that they should be, or whatever. Just like they see that they're not that, or that they have, on TikTok you see like, this is how you might have autism, and is your hand bigger than your face? They'll see things like that. Nothing should be trendy. Having autism or having cancer, none of that stuff should be trendy. And these social media platforms, especially something like TikTok with its algorithms, can make it so. Now, the trial just started, and it should last 6 to 8 weeks. All the executives are going to be talking, and we're going to see more trials and cases come into effect soon enough. There's a second set of federal cases that'll go into trial in Oakland, California, at the U.S. District of Court of Northern California. In the series of cases, school districts and states plan to argue that social media is a public nuisance and that they have had to shoulder the cost of treating a generation of youth suffering from addictive social media use. There's another one that began Monday in New Mexico, where the state attorney general brought charges against Meta over allegations that the company could have caused harm with addictive technology and by facilitating child exploitation. Well, there you go. The companies have already come to defend themselves. This next one comes from PBS News. Instagram chief says he does not believe people can get clinically addicted to social media. Come on, PBS News. I believe this is provided by AP, so there's not going to be a writer on it. Adam Mosseri, the head of Meta's Instagram, testified Wednesday during a landmark social media trial in Los Angeles that he disagrees with the idea that people can be clinically addicted to social media platforms. Mosseri said it's important to differentiate between clinical addiction and what he called problematic use. The plaintiff's lawyer, however, which is KGM, presented quotes directly from Mosseri in a podcast interview a few years ago where he said the opposite, but he clarified that he was probably using the term, quote, too casually, as people tend to do. In the past couple of years, I believe Instagram has tried to age gate their system finally. And I think maybe Meta too, but I believe they started at 13. It's either 13 or 16. I'm not going to double check that. But again, that's even still too young. 13 is too young to be on social media. It's a crazy thing to see. And does that really help? Is that something that, it's kind of like looking at porn online. Are you over 18 to go onto this website? I am over 18. People have been saying that, for even before they're 18 is the whole thing. The whole just this fucking whatever the fuck I'm saying. Mosseri tried to get very personal about it. He said someone, quote, very close to him has experienced serious clinical addiction, which is why he said he was being very careful with his words. He said he and his colleagues use the term, quote, problematic use to refer to, quote, someone spending more time on Instagram than they feel good about. And that definitely happens. I'm sure, we all know people who who are chronically online. I think that is the term that we use, chronically online. And it is something that, how many, I can tell you, in the past, when I was dating actively, now it's just me and the Lord. I'd go on a date, and then the young lady would sit down and put her phone down on the table. I'm just thinking, well, I guess I'm the third wheel here. I think hopefully the older you get, and you're going out on dates, they don't do that much anymore, if at all. Only when you're about to leave, and even so, just like, come on. In the courtroom, bereaved parents of children who have had social media struggles seemed visibly upset during a discussion around body dysmorphia and cosmetic filters. Meta shut down all third-party augmented reality filters in January 2025. The judge which is too late, the judge made an announcement to members of the public on Wednesday after displays of emotion, reminding them not to make any indication of agreement or disagreement with the testimony, saying that it would be, quote, improper to indicate some position. This is, reading that makes me think of the new issue that is AI, which is AI tools going unregulated and unseen are unseen. The fuck? Are the ones that are now leading people to, but mostly children, I think, to suicide. If they say, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself, and AI tools just don't really do anything or have an alert. I wonder, I don't know if this is true, but I maybe there's some sort of, hey, you've been scrolling for too long on Nintendo Switch. Isn't it Switch? On Nintendo platform, right? It's Nintendo platforms that have, hey, you've been playing the game for too long, right? Or maybe that's the Wii. Maybe I'm thinking back all the way back to the Wii where they're like, you've been playing this for too long. The problem with this is how these companies even classify themselves. Meta, Instagram in particular, says we're not addictive. Meta probably thinks of itself as an entirely different species. YouTube says it's not even social media. This comes from the New York Times. It argued that it wasn't social media in this new addiction trial. This is by Eli Tan and Cecilia Kang. YouTube said on Tuesday, because remember, this is going to be several weeks long, and every single social media platform is involved. I wonder if Reddit's involved. In the second day of opening statements, that it is not social media and that it is not addictive. YouTube said it's an entertainment platform, the lawyers rather, more like Netflix than a social network like Facebook. People use the video streaming app to learn how to cook, knit, and become pop stars, not endlessly scroll. However, when you institute things like, is that the second time I use the word institute? When you put in features like the shorts that are truly trying to be like Instagram Reels, that are trying to be like TikTok, aren't you opening yourself up to social media? Letterboxd, which is a platform I don't use because I think it's gross. And for dumb hipsters who are trying to be funny, Letterboxd is a social media platform. Anything that you can comment on and talk to other people is a social media platform, no matter what the bigger point of it is. If I go on, if Xbox Live started having, or PlayStation Network, or Nintendo Switch Online, which would never do this, Nintendo Online, but if because the functionality is barely even there, it's so hard to play even like one of the Nintendo 64 games. You got to open up the app, and then you have to go and find one of the 12 games they have on there. Nintendo Switch Online is great if you pay the $50 for a year up front, and thank God it's cheap. Because if I was paying the $30 like on Game Pass, or like the $12 or $18 or however much it is on PlayStation Plus, I'd be pissed per month. Anyway, I don't know what I was talking about, but if those platforms started having a place to have forum discussions, which I'm sure would be super casual and clean and not have any slurs in them, then those would become social media platforms, regardless of their ability to play games a lot. Because by definition, it's social and it's media, social media. It's not trying to get in your brain to rewire it, says Lewis Lee, which is YouTube's lawyer. When it said of the app's video recommendation algorithm, it's just asking you what you like to watch. Scrolling through the story to find a different quote. On Monday, the lawyer for KGM, the young woman who brought this case, argued that they had become hooked on YouTube and Instagram as a child because the apps are like digital casinos, with features such as endless swiping that are comparable to the handle of a slot machine. Mr. Lanier pointed to internal documents from YouTube's parent company, Google, referring to features as, quote, slot machines. In separate documents, Meta employees twice said the company's tactics reminded them of tobacco companies. Whew. That is, it's almost damning. That's crazy. Between 2020 and 2024, KGM, the plaintiff, used YouTube for just 29 minutes a day. Of that, she spent only 4 minutes watching videos that had automatically surfaced, and much of that time listening to music, Mr. Lee said. She just spent over a minute each day watching videos on YouTube Shorts, which uses an endless scroll feature. Mr. Lee also argued that features of plaintiff's lawyer had described as addictive could be turned off in YouTube settings. I don't know about that. It's gonna be it's not gonna be a cut and dry thing to watch, but it will be interesting to see what these companies will do to shirk responsibility. And part of it, and I will say this, part of it does come down on the parents to be able to say, hey, get off your phone. And then, and not even just parents, as adults who use social media, it is also up to you, just like, to be, especially if you're over 25 and your brain is fully formed, to be like, hey, this is damaging to me. So let's put it 70-30 on the companies, 30% on us as human beings. But yeah, it's social media can be an addiction, and again, if it hits the dopamine receptors, and I'm not a doctor, but if it hits the dopamine receptors, then by George. All right. This last story comes from, look, I only did 2 stories today. It's crazy. This last story comes from, because there's not a lot of things going on. Comes from the Hollywood Reporter, written by Alex Wepper and Caitlin Huston, and Katie Kilkenny. Talk is cheap. Talk shows are not. Daytime TV's big problem. We are seeing a droop. If late night shows are experiencing a waning. They're dying. They're slowly leaving. Who knows if we have more time with Kimmel after his recent contract renewal, which I think was for like another year or so. Colbert is going away, not of his own volition. The NBC shows don't get the ratings they used to. The only things that seem to do extremely well and consistently online are the Daily Show and Last Week Tonight, and even still, we could see those go anytime, like truly anytime. The daytime talk show part of it is definitely changing. I believe the Sherri Shepherd show has been canceled. Kelly Clarkson just announced that she won't be doing her show any longer, and they just moved that show back to New York, right? I think. But now, as Alex and Caitlin and Katie write in this, podcasts have taken over that late night, that talk show feeling. And now those podcasts are getting broader views on not views, broader positions on bigger platforms like Netflix. I was scrolling through Netflix earlier today trying to see if they dropped anything new. They did not. But I was scrolling through Netflix today, and all those podcasts that they announced their videos were going to be coming to the platform are there. I guess I'm not on Netflix a lot. I guess I'm not. Yeah, I guess I'm not on Netflix a lot because I just noticed those this week. And now we're like 6 weeks into the new year. But they're there, and they are at least on the phone, because on the TV, I don't think I see them on TV, but on the phone, they are prominent. I have no interest in watching. I like Pete Davidson. I have no interest in watching his new show, which is not a podcast. It's literally just a video, and you can't even turn off your phone and listen to it. So why would you do that? I have no interest in The Ringer, all that stuff. I have no interest in Call Her Daddy or New Heights, even though they're